All right. Well, good morning. It's been a little while since I posted a video. Just get you up to date on what's going on right now in the Acme City world is basically I'm kind of stalled out again. Um, I finally got the the GoPro remote, to work with the cameras. Finally figured it out. Only took me about 2.5, 3 weeks to figure it out. And watched a bunch of videos and talked to some people and finally got it figured out. Uh, so got everything going yesterday. I was ready to try to start to work on videoing some racing on a track, and the GoPro cameras that I bought, two of them, they don't stay on for more than 15, 30 seconds, and then they turn off, and can't video that way. So I did a little research online and found out that that's kind of common for that particular model of GoPro, the 11 Black. It has an internal battery, and they've been having a lot of problems with them. So if you're considering a camera, stay away from the GoPro 11 Mini. Um, they got an internal, like I said, they got an internal battery, so you can't replace the battery on them like you can other ones. I'm going to call GoPro, try to get a hold of them this week, even though it's a holiday week, so good luck with that, right? And see if they can do anything. Because, I mean, I bought the cameras in the spring brand new, and I just opened them up like a month ago and started messing around with them. And, just started having problems right away. So hopefully they'll be able to do something about it. But what we got going on in the meantime, excuse me, I'm going to cough. Sorry. So remember the old GMC truck, the Matchbox Super Kings that we got from the in the bag of stuff from the toy show last month. So I decided, I've been thinking about it, what I can do with it, and it turns out that this M2 chassis that I got, which I also got in that bag of stuff, um, it's a pretty close fit. It's kind of hard to see here. I'm sorry. It's kind of a close fit. It's going to require a little bit of filing, but the M2 chassis is much better looking chassis than what's on the Matchbox, of course. So this is off an M2 C60, Chevy C60. And this one I got in that bag of scrap stuff from the toy show. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to drill out the rivet, and then I'm going to cut this back piece off here, totally take it off, and remove this. So I'm just going to use the cab. Not sure about using this windshield since it's got a big hole in it. Not sure which route I'm going to go with this yet. And I do have other pieces of windshield that I might be able to cut and trim and fit in there. So we're going to take a look at doing that. And then I bought a bunch of DCP truck parts a couple of years ago. Mark Vicker was selling them. He doesn't sell them anymore. He's sold out, I think. But I bought a bunch of the diesel stacks and the rear view mirrors. So we're going to drag those out. And then I got the wheels, M2 wheels for the truck. So we got those. And then I got this little box of, this is all HO scale stuff actually, but the parts are pretty close to S scale on a lot of this stuff. These tanks and that, so I might use some of those too. So basically, I'm going to see what we can do with this. And I don't know how long this project's going to take. It shouldn't take too long. But I'm not going to be able to video drilling this out or cutting this because I have to go to the garage to do that. Because if I do it down here, it's about 5:30 in the morning. I don't want to disturb my wife since she's sleeping right above my head right now, basically. So we're gonna take this out to the garage and we're gonna take a hacksaw and we're gonna cut this back piece off. And we're gonna go from there. Okay, back from the garage. And I took a metal cutting hacksaw blade, a hand blade, and just cut that piece right off nice and flush with the cap. Came off pretty easy. I use a fine tooth metal cutting blade for my hacksaw. And it works better than doing it with a Dremel tool, at least on a straight cut like this. Because you could use the Dremel blade, which looks like that. You know, you could get in there with it, you know, but you're coming in at an angle, so you got a chance of wrecking other things down here. Then these things tend to sometimes break apart and fly off in different directions at high velocity, and it's just safer. So here's the old base plate. So this is actually pretty cool because this thing fits right in there just about. I mean, it's almost a perfect fit. I just have to make a tab in the front to shove it into the cab, and I think this is going to fit pretty easily. So we're going to do some filing here. Where's my file? I have files everywhere. And I know I just saw one just a minute ago. Nope, it does not look like I do. All right, well, so I'm going to make a tab here. Sorry. Just kind of seeing where. All right, I'm going to find my pencil here. Make a few marks. All right, so I know what the... So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I don't know, do you guys want to watch this? It's hard for me to file and film at the same time, but we'll see, because I'm reaching around the camera. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's do this other side here. on pause for a minute. Well, I could have made that better if I tried. I filed the pin, basically made a little tab in the front to fit into the bumper there, and then I just had to file a little bit around the bottom of the cab, and it snapped right in. I mean, that's on there. That's on there tight. Huh. I don't even have to use a screw. I was going to put an interior in it, but then I was going to fix the window. This might be a little more weathered vehicle. Maybe I'll just leave the battle damage. I was going to leave the paint, for the patina. I was going to do a little bit of rusting on it and some weathering. So, let's get some wheels on there. These M2 wheels are kind of fragile, so I wouldn't be surprised if I break one. We'll see. We'll see if we can get them off in one piece here. We will see. See, I'm just trying to find something flat. Like a screwdriver. Screwdriver would work. Screwdriver would work real good. There we go. I'll just go out of here. I'll just kind of carefully pry up on that to loosen that wheel a little bit. There we go. We're successful with the first set. Let's see if we can get the duals off in one piece. Let's try this again. I'm just using a little screwdriver thing that you get with the a Dremel tool. Actually, that might even work better as a puller. I get pressure on both sides. I don't want to push too hard on that because I don't want this thing to fly off into the unknown, where so many other small parts have disappeared to. All right, we're going to have to do a little more work. That's being a bit stubborn now, isn't it? The thing is, it's either going to fly off and go God knows where, or it's going to break the actual hub of the wheel. Well, I got one side off of it. All right. Here we go. Let's see here. Straighten these out a little bit here, huh? There's a little plastic cam or whatever you'd want to call it on there. There we go. This is going a lot easier than I thought it would, to tell you the truth. Oh, until now. The axle's a little too short on this one, so... Okay, well, I'm going to have to find another set of axles. What I need is a C60 axle. I don't believe I have any C60 axles. I'm not totally sure. I'm just looking through all my parts drawers here. Seeing if I can find a set of C60 axles. I'm gonna go look at my other case. I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, well, I actually had a spare C60 axle. So that should go right on there. That's a good thing about saving parts, is that you never know. You never know when you're going to need them. It's starting to look more like a truck now, huh? It rolls. Definitely rolls. So that's where we're at so far with it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the back, if I'm just going to put a fifth wheel on it, or if I'm going to put some kind of box or something on it. Huh. Not bad for basically what it was, a piece of junk. I mean, a lot of people would have looked at it and probably threw it away. Yeah. But, you know, these Matchbox Super Kings, they're pretty close to 64 scale. The only thing with this one is the cap's a little bit misshapen up here. Otherwise, it's pretty darn close. And since I don't have any of these GMCs like this, we're just going to accept this as what it is. That's not too bad. Let's see here. So I have some other things. I'm going to figure out how I'm going to place them on the vehicle. Some parts. I got some mirrors that are DCP mirrors. I bought these in bulk, I don't know how many years ago. And I got all kinds of HO scale stuff too. I'm going to pick through here and see if any of this stuff will work. So we'll be back in a few. All right, well, back again. So I grabbed the Dremel, went out to the garage so I wouldn't disturb my wife, and drilled a little hole on the side there, which I think that's going to fit in there all right. Just glue it in. I wanted to use this bigger piece here and go through the frame, but it's almost as big as the frame, so I didn't want to weaken the frame that much. So we got those. So we got that exhaust piece on. Now I got to figure out the mirrors. They're a little tiny. So we're going to have to go with the little hand drills. That's going to take a little while, so I'm going to spare you guys the boredom of that. But in the meantime, hey, remember the green General Lee? There is a General Lee under it. Decals are all shot, but I think you can get reproduction ones. I don't know. The paint's not in the greatest shape either. I'm going to do something with this. I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to get all this green paint off of it for sure. And take a look and see what the rest of it looks like. Maybe I'll get another set of decals for it and kind of semi-restore it. I don't know. I know people really are looking for them, but they want all nice and original, so I don't know. But in the meantime, we're going to just continue working on with this. And we're back. So, I drilled a couple holes for the mirrors. Now, I was going to drill a hole on the top here, too, for the top part of the mirror, but there's just not enough material up here to really do a good job. So, what I did is I drilled some holes using this, which, if you're not familiar with it, it spins as you push down on it. So that just turns your bit as you're doing it. So I just clamped it into the vise over there, and so we're gonna start working on that. All right, well, we're back. So this is where we're at so far. And the mirrors are a bit more late model, but they're what I had. And I would have liked to maybe had that stack stick up a little bit higher behind the cab, but that's the only place I really could put it. So that's where we're at so far. I just, I have the holes in the side and then a little bit of super glue to hold it all in. It's not going to be something you're going to want to like play with, you know, move around and let the kids have at it, but it'll look cool on the layout. It does sit a little high, but not bad. Not too bad, really. You consider, you know, it was a throwaway piece combined with some junkyard parts out of my stash. We're getting kind of a cool little thing going here. You know, something from nothing. So now just, you know, I'm going to do some painting on it. I think I'm going to leave it alone for today and let this glue cure overnight. And we'll get back at it. I got all kinds of other stuff I can put on it yet. I'm thinking about maybe putting a set of saddle tanks on it, and of course the fifth wheel. I have to maybe find. I know I have a couple extra laying around somewhere that we could find. Not too bad. Maybe I'll paint that wheel black and put it back there. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. So I'm not going to mess with it too much more. I don't want to drop it or anything or bust off a mirror until those things are on there a little better. Oops, does this one already fall forward? No, it's okay. Yeah, I probably should have got the glass out. I kind of forgot about the glass. I started putting everything else together. Once I got the cab on and it kind of got stuck on there, I didn't really want to yank it off again and maybe, you know, break something. So this is where we're at right now. I'd like to show you guys some better stuff, but right now we're just kind of waiting. See what we're going to do with these cameras. I'm going to end up starting to shoot with the iPad and my iPhone, which is what I'm shooting this video on right now. This is just to show you guys that I haven't forgotten about the diorama stuff. I'm starting to work on these buildings, painting them a little bit. I got a couple more of them that are primed and ready to go. So I'm going to be painting on those a bit, and I'll show you guys how that's coming along. I'm hoping over the next few days, Christmas is going to be Christmas is this week. I got family coming over on Christmas Eve, making a big dinner, so got a few things to do with that. I'll get back at this project tomorrow and show you where we can go from there with it. I thought this was a fun little project. You know, it's something that, you know, basically it was just made from junk and spare parts. But, you know, saved it from the dumpster. And I think it was going to look pretty cool, especially once I rusted up a little bit. Add some rust paint to it, some weathering powder, you know, paint the details on it. Paint the grill, the headlights, the marker lights, the GMC logo. That's all got to be painted up on it. And door handle, stuff like that. But I'm going to leave that flaking red paint on there. It's kind of a badge of honor, a badge of courage. So, all right, well, so anyways, you know, with as far as the track goes, as far as drag racing goes, I'm still working on it. It's not going to happen this month, unfortunately. We're trying real hard to get it going for next month, and so just stay tuned and keep following, keep subscribing, and more things will be coming soon. So we'll see you later.